the desert of the real.
Welcome to the Desert of the Real. I'm your host, Jason Deeds, and joined with me is your rebellious, water-slinging co-host.
Water-slinging? Ryan Hudson.
Hopefully it doesn't kill me on accident. That's all I'm saying. Because I have electrical components over here.
You know, I always, every time I watch this, I'm like, would that kill a guy?
I don't know.
With the taser and the water?
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, maybe.
I have no idea. That guy was sucked, so... I mean, not that all sucked people need to die, but, you know, that guy sucked.
Well, maybe life would be better if they did.
Well, we're going to talk about the ethics of various things today. Anyhow, The Desert of the Real is a movie podcast where I, Jason Deese, rebel against the tyranny of Ryan Hudson forcing me to watch a bunch of crappy movies in a row, and we're now taking a break from all of the crappy movies in a row to watch a smaller set of movies that may or may not be crappy, but if they're anything like the first one that we watched, they're not going to be crappy. So, we are currently watching through, does this have a name? Planet of the Apes.
But it's like...
prequel.
Planet of the Apes, but not the original.
Right.
Not that Tim Burton one-off.
I think they're prequels.
It's the modern Planet of the Apes.
The modern
trilogy.
prequels to the original Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm feeling at this point. So we're here to ask, does this trilogy, or this movie specifically, have anything deep to say? We're two English language arts high school teachers with graduate degrees, and we attempt to use our academic training to dig deeply into movies. We explore the creativity, philosophy, film studies, and ethics in our films, and push our listeners to think critically about their entertainment. Thank you for joining us once again, and you're welcome for allowing you to watch Rise of the Planet of the Apes instead of Harry Potter 4, a.k.a. Harry Potter 3, a.k.a. Harry Potter 2, a.k.a. Harry Potter.
See, this is the problem, Deets. So, you like to stoke the flames.
I do. I love it.
I was telling...
So I can hear your ludicrous defense against the dark arts, which is Harry Potter.
I mean, it's not just my defense. I think a lot of people would agree that... We're not going to get into it, okay? We're not doing it.
Oh, come on.
We
rise
just disagree
rise
about
to the
this.
bait. Come on.
It's not like... I have to set the record straight and say it's not like I'm saying every single movie we watch on this I'm saying is the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying these are big blockbuster movies you refuse to watch because you didn't think they were worth your time.
Yeah.
Is there anything deep to say?
I meant like 80%. They weren't. So
what? 20%? That's the cream of the crop anyway.
Yeah, but why should I have to watch the 80% to get to the 20%?
You know what, Deets? We're not going to get into it. I feel like this whole podcast is... What's interesting, though, is you've seen this one. You've not seen the next two.
I haven't seen either of the other two.
Which is exciting because this is a blockbuster franchise. But I think B, one that gets overlooked.
C.
And C... Maybe we don't realize it's a big blockbuster because it doesn't have as many famous people, not as many. I don't know. For some reason, it's like this one gets hit under a bushel because.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to start.
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
That's a great question because if you ask any Joe Blow on the street, what's the best trilogies of all time, they'll tell you.
Even show up.
Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, maybe Back to the Futures. Maybe The Dark Knight, maybe even Toy Story. What I'm trying to say is this trilogy deserves, has a strong argument for best trilogy of all time. And you haven't seen 2 and 3, which is exciting.
I have not.
And I think they're genuinely good. My favorite one isn't even this one.
Well, this one's very much just an intro or a stage setter movie. Here's the ethical issues.
Right.
Here's the philosophical stuff. Here's the characters that will be important later.
See, and
The end.
what's so exciting for me, for you to see for the first time, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which is the next one, and War for the Planet of the Apes, it's not like, it doesn't change that. It's like, here's an ethical dilemma. Here's another ethical dilemma.
Sure.
Like, even War, which you'd think is like, here's the biggest battle, like, it's mostly about dilemmas. And you'll see, I'm trying to be vague.
Sounds like my kind of movie shows.
Yeah, they're good.
So that might be one of the reasons why this is not a blockbuster. Because when we compare this
it is by definition.
Okay, but not like a famous whatever blockbuster. Because when we compare this to the things that make a ton of money...
Yeah. And it did. This did make money. Don't get me wrong.
How much money?
I don't know.
Oh.
But I remember... Okay, here's a little tidbit. I remember when this came out, because around the time, the Bruno Mars music video for the Lazy song, I don't know what it's called, the Lazy song, I think. I just want to stay in my bed. The music video was just him playing piano or whatever, and then there's people wearing ape masks kind of dancing around like in the living room. And I remember on the radio the DJs were like, Bruno Mars knew. Somehow he knew that apes were going to be big this, like, right now. Like, because this movie, it wasn't like unsuccessful. It was big. And I think it surprised everyone that not only it was big, but everyone liked it, critics and audiences.
Yeah. So then it's not the thinking elements of it.
Maybe. I mean, I guess we talked about this the last episode, how the modern audiences suffer from cinematic illiteracy. Or literacy, I suppose.
True.
The average person doesn't know or won't be able to explain what makes a good movie good. Like, a lot of people watch movies passively, not thinking about things.
Yeah.
Hence
this podcast.
At
least from my side. You're just
and
sadistic.
my side, too.
You're just sadistic and you want to make me watch these things.
Well, what's fun about this podcast, we've kind of turned it into what is there to say about any movie.
Sure.
But we both have the same idea. If you understand the things in a movie, you'll enjoy the movie better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you're thinking of the film form, the cinematography, the writing, the editing, the dialogue, and like you're aware of how it's all working together, that won't distract you from the movie. That'll help the movie be better.
Mm-hmm. Thinking about the purpose, the worldview, the ethical questions, all of that, deepens your... Yeah, I agree. Hence this podcast.
Okay.
Wait, I want to finish that question. Why not? Why is it not? So I have a theory, because when I was watching Harry Potter 3 with my son, at one point he's like, "That's awesome, I wish I could do that."
Yeah.
And I think that might be why. Because in this movie, I've only seen the first one, but there's not really anything that people are going to be like, "Oh, that's awesome, I wish I could do that." When you look at Star Wars, I wish I could use the Force. I wish I could. Or the Avengers, I wish I had super strength or could fly. So maybe it's just that we don't have a way to connect at that level with any of the characters in here. They're all good characters. They're well developed.
And what's interesting, and I hope this isn't seen as a spoiler, but everyone has a different human cast. Like, each one has different humans.
Oh, so Caesar's dad doesn't show up in the next one?
Well,
okay,
so maybe there's less things to
connect to
besides Caesar and the other apes. You know.
Yeah.
Well, that's
another. Oh, go ahead.
What's really cool about this movie is, and I think the trailers led you into thinking this. It tricks you into thinking James Franco's going to be the main character, but Caesar becomes the main character. It's like maybe. Well, it's fun as like an audience member, like, oh wait, he's not our guy. Right. Caesar's the main character here, not the human.
Yeah. So I have another possible.
Okay, so maybe
this movie, I don't know what the franchise does, but forces us to see ourselves in a unflattering light. Because one of my main ethical questions I want us to play with is, should we be testing on animals? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's pretty obviously the driving question of this, but the answer to that, based on this movie, is not comfortable for most of us. Like, just about everything about our lives impacts negatively the animal kingdom. And so another reason why maybe this doesn't come up in great movies is we don't like looking at ourselves through a negative lens. We don't like seeing our flaws. We don't like seeing the, dark and gooey and yucky wizard behind the curtain of our lives. We like to think, oh yeah, we just flip the switch and the light comes on. We don't want to think about the pollution and people dying from, coal inhalation and black lung and blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, those are my two theories.
It makes us feel bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though we like Caesar as a main character, we root for him.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's less human characters to latch onto. Because, we mentioned this in one of the many Marvel episodes, but Quentin Tarantino had this quote saying, the actors of Marvel aren't the stars, the characters are the stars.
Sure.
It's like, we know who Chris Evans is, Chris Hemsworth by name, but we don't go to see those movies because of them. It's the characters they're playing. I want to see the next Thor movie because I like Thor.
Yeah.
And so maybe they're more memorable that way or something. Well, this is like... I think maybe a lot of people will know Caesar is the main name of the ape, but there's less to latch onto as a fan, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like the average fandom. I hate using the word fandom, even though it's been so normalized because it's like, oh, the Star Wars fandom, blah, blah. I've loved Star Wars my whole life. Don't tell me I'm a fandom. like in some sort of cult now all of a sudden because of how you describe people who like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like all sorts of things. Anyway. Those are interesting questions, and maybe we'll see. Because even they made a fourth one, which is it's a new story because it takes place 100 years after these ones do. It's more connecting the bridge between the Planet of the Apes movies and stuff. But that movie still was financially successful too. So it's like here's a new dish of characters and situations and stuff. I don't know.
Visually, it looks great. Acting, it's great. It's got a great script.
Yeah.
There's not much to dislike about it other than some of the logos issues, but we'll get to that. So, background.
So, in a way, the first franchise was Planet of the Apes. In the 70s, so let me back up a little bit more, because there were movies that took place in the continuity before the 70s, like James Bond, or even Godzilla,
Yeah, the Universal Monsters series.
The Universal but usually they were, here is a new adventure with this character. And then here's another adventure. It's unrelated to the last one.
Not building.
They're standalones.
Yeah.
But then in the 70s, 3 things happened in this 10-year span. One was Star Wars. It was hard to deny that Star Wars was the beginning of... But it bleeds into the 80s, so it's kind of not the same in a way. But the franchise was being born in the 70s. The other main thing was Godfather, because they threw Godfather Part 2 at audiences.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't just another Godfather. This was like the second half of the Godfather. And then this franchise, because it was basically year after year, you got another Planet of the Apes movie.
Yeah. Starting in the late 60s, so this...
Right. Planet of the Apes was the first franchise in a literal way.
That's cool.
But what I didn't realize was that they had diminishing returns. So each Planet of the Apes movie, and there's 5 of them, I think, they were made cheaper and cheaper because they weren't as successful as the previous one.
And you can tell.
I've only ever seen the first one. And for the sake of spoilers, we won't say how the first one ends.
It's a madhouse.
Yeah, there's some fun callbacks in this movie.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about one because it's so good. And it could have not worked at all, but it totally works. We'll get there in a little bit. But anyway, so there was also a TV show, Planet of the Apes, that tried to exist, and also a cartoon TV show.
Oh wow!
Neither of which was very successful. So the previous movie to this, after the 70s movies and the 80s TV shows was the 2001 Tim Burton movie, which has its own insane ending. Which, by the way, all these are based on a book. Do you know that a book came first, and then a few years later, the first film. And apparently, the Tim Burton ending is closer to the book ending, even though it doesn't make sense at all, no matter how you think about it. And it's trying to redo the original ending, but you're like, wait a second, what? And you should honestly kind of watch this movie, the Tim Burton one, just because it's so bananas. You got Mark Wahlberg. You even have Charlton Heston as a short cameo. He's one of the apes. And admittedly, the effects of the makeup does look pretty impressive. Like,
cool.
It started off with masks. Now it's like Masks 2.0 in the Tim Burton one. And now with this, it's CGI, motion capture. But here's the thing. The 2001 version, it could have been the beginning of another franchise. But it wasn't successful. Because in 2001, what are you competing against, Dietz?
Toy Story.
I mean,
I have no idea.
No, but you have
some Star Wars something, some Lord of the Rings
that's
something,
the thing. Yeah, Lord
some
of the Rings,
Marvel something, and
Star
some
Wars,
pirate something.
Harry Potter, blockbusters. It's the sweet spot before social media and the internet being able to kind of devour content in a way. Yeah. I hate to refer to movies as content, but it's for the sake of what I'm trying to say. Right. It makes sense. Like, movies were huge and were able to be huge and
just by themselves.
Yeah, this movie, the Tim Burton one, could not compete. So in a sense, it killed the franchise. Here's the interesting thing that I didn't know. The studio Fox wasn't like, let's try to bring it back. The writer pitched this idea
of the book.
The writer of this movie. So the writer came to the studio and says, "I have an idea for Planet of the Apes." So what that means is it wasn't the people in the studio being like, "How can we make money from something we own already?" Someone with a passion came in and said, "I have an idea. Like, this is something I think could work." So that's cool. Admittedly the best way to make art. It's for like sure. Someone has a new take. He's like, they're like, look at all these apes that live in just private homes. There's got to be a story here, and kind of grew into, wait a second, maybe this could be an origin story for Planet of the Apes type of thing, and came up with this idea and presented it to Fox, and that's how it came.
That's awesome.
Not the opposite, which usually happens these days, where it's like, what do we own? What can we get?
How can we make money?
How can we make money off of something already?
Yeah.
So, in a sense, the legacy sequel thing, that wasn't the original concept, which is cool.
That is cool. Also, I had no idea people had primates living in their houses.
Yeah. Oh, man, okay.
Apparently that's a thing. People do.
Remember the Oprah Winfrey Show?
Yes.
Okay. The Oprah Winfrey Show, just... For those who don't know, I'm guessing our students, it's just Oprah talking to mostly everyday people, or people who had specific jobs. She also talked to celebrities, don't get me wrong. But what set her different was, let's talk to someone, quote-unquote, normal, and
right.
What about it? That's how we got, like, Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil. They were just interesting and whatever. But a lot of people my age, and older too, because Jordan Peele definitely was inspired by this. There was one episode about a chimpanzee who attacked a human. And I remember it vividly. There's a couple of Oprah, like, episodes that, like, scarred me for life in a way. But there was a story in the news how a woman owned a chimpanzee, and the woman had a friend, and would come over all the time. This chimp knew who this woman was, but for whatever reason, this chimp attacked her, and she had to have massive facial reconstructive surgery.
Wow.
And that's why, like, if you've seen the movie Nope, it's gotta be inspired by that story.
Oh, yeah.
That a lot of us saw on Oprah. Maybe me too young or whatever. But I was thinking of that because chimps are stronger than us. We can't fight a chimp. It will tear your face off.
Yeah.
Like that has happened and would happen. You know, that's part of this movie. It's like they are how people see them as a wild animal type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Cool.
The Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes.
Rise of the...
I think we should start with the cons.
Cons? Okay.
I have very few.
Because I don't have a lot either, actually.
Mine are all just logic issues. But
Go for it.
none of them break it because... So, like, taking Caesar home. Obviously, that's stupid. Why would you do that? I mean, oh, it's cute. Oh, whatever. Just think a little bit beyond, you know, the immediate, this is a cute little animal to what's coming. Okay, no drug research company on the planet is not going to notice missing test vials of anything.
You're right.
They are tracked and tracked, so that whole part of this movie logically doesn't work, but it's compelling enough that we don't, at least I didn't care a whole lot about it, aside from the initial, okay, that's never going to happen, but... And then, I don't know if I missed something, but going from Caesar saying no, and then very short time later, they're out attacking the city.
Yeah.
How did they learn to do all of those things? Like, how did they learn to take out the cameras specifically, but all of the other things? How did they learn, this is an important strategic thing that we need to destroy, and this isn't? But aside from those three things, not much.
The only thing there is you see them having an ape meeting, so they're...
Right, and that's, I guess, the fill-in for he has now taught them everything he knows about the human world, and
And the thing is, like, you're right, there wouldn't be any way a company wouldn't know.
Right.
But my suspension of disbelief isn't broken by that.
Right.
You know what
Mine
I mean?
isn't. Mine wasn't either. I was actually struggling to find cons, honestly.
Yeah, I like this movie a lot.
So it was just those few little logical hiccups. But other than that, I don't have anything. You got anything?
Like negatives? It's nothing that breaks me because I really like this movie. Like, I mean, it's not really a negative. It's like when they gather other apes, like from the zoo, we don't see them get super dosed, but they just are kind of along with all the
that's
smart,
another one.
you know. And it's just one of those things. It's like you just kind of have to accept.
It's just part of the thing.
Yeah. Would the movie be better if you saw a canister be exploded next to new apes? Maybe not. You know.
I mean, it wouldn't have been hard to do it, but. Yeah, I didn't even realize that. You're right.
Because I've thought that ever since the beginning. It's like, wait, I remember seeing it for the first time thinking, is just being near them giving all the apes smart? But there's maybe a couple of hints, like when Caesar is brought to the zoo at first, before he's old, all the apes stop to look at him.
Yeah, that's true.
You could maybe argue there's something innate.
There's aura.
Yeah, the aura, as the kids
say.
It's
just like being out. I don't know.
I don't really have any negatives, if I'm being honest.
Cool.
Like we mentioned at the very beginning, I'm always like, wait a second, would water and that taser actually kill you?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't have any real complaints, actually. Yeah. I think this is a really good movie.
I do.
I think all three of them are really good.
Cool. Well, we found a good franchise then.
Yeah. One of many.
We should watch more of these kind of franchises.
I mean, Sherlock Holmes is right there. I mean, with Robert Downey Jr.
Anyhow, this was an interesting list for me because they're all like, I don't know how to, like, they're all intellectual prose.
Yeah.
They're not like, this cool thing happened in the movie.
Yeah.
It's this thing happened and this is what we think about because of that. So If you have movie-based pros,
I have some
yeah,
cool
go
of
for
those too. So, like, I mean, little things like just making the movie wise, technology wise. There's not a single real life ape used. It's all motion
really?
capture. Yeah, none of it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like it was kind of a statement to be like, we don't need to abuse animals or use animals
To make this movie.
Yeah, we can use. So even like apes in the background laying down, that's a person in a mocap suit type of thing.
Oh.
So that's kind of cool. The little things that I like, how like John Lithgow is using the utensil wrong and Caesar like fixes it for him, because it does two things. Shows, something's wrong with Lithgow's brain, but also how advanced Caesar is.
Yeah.
Like that, little things like that go so far.
Yeah. And they're very, very incremental in his growth. I think, which is why, like, it stuck out to me when all of the chimps knew everything. Like, where was that incremental growth for all of them? But you're right. I was very careful with his growth. It's really cool.
I think it's cool, like, once again, the technology thing, because Andy Serkis is Caesar. Andy Serkis famously was Gollum and Smeagol in Lord of the Rings. He's kind of become, like...
The guy whose face we don't actually want to see.
Well, like, he's become, like, known as the professional motion capture guy, you know? Like, he understands the technology so well. It's so good. There are times where you can see Andy Serkis's face, like the actor. Like, oh, I can tell that Andy Serkis is there making that face. And like the difference between this movie and the next one, the technology even jumps. Like, compare it. Like, the only reason the CGI monkeys look bad in this movie is because they look so much better in the next one. You know what I mean?
I didn't think they looked
terrible. They don't look bad, but when you like compare them to the next one, it's like, oh wow, they just look so much better in this one. So
cool.
And I'm not saying they look bad here. It works. Yeah. Everything works. It's just, it's cool. You can see the actor behind the technology sometimes. Yeah. It's only even more so in the next ones as the technology itself improves. My two fan servicey moments, like, it's a madhouse, which is a callback to the original movie. But the biggest one, and I'm going to take it before you can get it, is the other fan service big callback, which could have fallen on its face, but it seriously does not. It's when, I guess backing up a little bit, it's so cool to see Caesar get the mantle, like how he gains trust of the gorilla, and he uses that to take out the bonobo, you know, and like then he uses the bonobo to give treats, you know. You see his plan in action, and you're able to understand like why he does what he does without saying a single word. It's so good. And like, even when he chooses not to go with James Franco, he stays behind, and Malfoy comes out with his little taser.
Wait, is that Malfoy?
Yeah, that's Malfoy.
Wow, okay. No wonder I didn't like him.
And he says the iconic line, "Get your filthy paws off me."
Yeah.
And the whole movie builds up to this moment, and when Caesar yells no, it's silent. You can hear a pin drop in the audience, you know?
So good.
And it could have not worked at all. But that build up, like the first time he says anything is this, no, it earns that.
Oh yeah,
it's so well done. Shivers.
I wrote it. Yeah, me too. I wrote it's the best single word in cinema.
Maybe
that moment. I agree.
It's good.
Very good.
I mean, what else there's other things I like, but I want to tie it into like an overarching motif thing later on.
Okay. So most of what the other things that I like are just all, like, it made me think deeply about these things.
Yeah.
Like, philosophically. So, while this is obviously an animal rights kind of thing, it's kind of hard not to see other kinds of abuses also being called out. So, specifically, I'm thinking about slavery. I'm thinking about the wiping out of civilizations like Native American populations, or any of this stuff that's going on and has been going on in Europe and Africa. This is kind of calling all of that out. And so the big question philosophically I was left with is it okay to use rage as a motivating force for change? And so Caesar is obviously the one. Like, he builds and builds and builds and builds and builds, and he takes and takes and takes it and takes it until finally that moment that you were just talking about. It's like, no, I am done. My people, for lack of a better word, we are done.
Yeah.
We are no longer going to take this. We have done everything that we can to be, good chimps or whatever, and good and fit in and whatever, and you continue to abuse us. And so the time has come. We are no longer going to allow our people to be abused, run over, whatever. And so the question is that okay? If we get to the enough point, is it okay to allow our rage to take over, to be violent, to be destructive, to communicate the message? So in the United States, we have two very obvious civil rights leaders who took two very different approaches to that question. So Martin Luther King, inspired by Gandhi, is famously nonviolent protest. And then Malcolm X and the Black Panthers went like the way that Caesar seems to have gone. And it's interesting, dang it, there's so much. But it's interesting that Caesar isn't like, you know what, screw all humanity, let's blow up the whole city.
Right.
No, he just wants to get to a place where his people can be left alone.
Yeah, he tells multiple apes not to kill a human.
Yeah, and that's super fascinating because Caesar runs the middle of the question, where Martin Luther King was very much nonviolent protest. The only way we are ever going to get anyone to see us as equals, as human beings, is to not act like animals.
Yeah.
And then Malcolm X, on the other hand, is we have waited, we have tried nonviolence, we have begged and pleaded and asked, and we've been good little, people doing what we're expected to do. It's not working. The time has come.
Right.
And Caesar splits that. And I think that's fascinating. One, that it's an ape. I realize it's fiction, but that an ape could figure out we use rage as a vehicle to get out and to create a space where we can no longer need it.
Yeah.
And I think that's awesome. Yeah, because I wrote down here he stops a lot of people killing people. I mean, there are some people that die, like Jacobs. He allows.
Well, there's the one guy. I don't know if Caesar would have killed him, but doesn't he try to shoot him? No, when he's in the helicopter, Caesar comes to him. I'm trying to remember.
The guy shoots at Caesar, and then the big gorilla steps in the way, and
when Caesar steps away, he lets Koba.
I don't know any.
Oh, I know. Like, here's the funny thing is, it's like, there's Maurice, there's Koba, there's Rocket, and like you get to know these apes. And not the humans. It's like I don't remember their names all the way, but anyway, I'm trying to remember when Jacobs is in the helicopter. Doesn't he do something where Caesar then steps away and he like gives the nod to Koba, like, you can kill this one?
I don't remember. He might insult him or something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Because it's like whatever it was. Because I was thinking about this, and I guess I forgot, and you forgot too. Jacobs did something or said something where it's Caesar's like justifiably, Koba, you can go. You can do what you need to do. Yeah, you can do what you need to do with this one.
Yeah. So the question of rage, when is rage okay? When is enough the end? When is it like this is so like I mean we work in a high school, right? Yeah. So at what point do you beat the bully? Like you've been putting up with it. At what time? At what point is that okay? That's the question that this movie asks.
Yeah.
And then we have just along with the rage thing, they're on the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
They've got these people. I don't know how they got there so fast, but, we'll just let that pass because...
The police?
Yeah, because the monkeys just go, they rescue the people, and they're out.
Yeah.
And somehow they set up this blockade and all this. Anyhow.
Yeah, it's like a movie trope.
It's okay. So Caesar could have, because they pushed the bus up, he could have just pushed it up, slaughter everybody, and let's just go. But he didn't do that. He sent some of them underneath, some of them over, and with the minimal casualties, succeeded in doing what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know, for better or for worse, I think this is a really, really good answer to that question. When is rage okay as a motivation, as a vehicle for correcting severe wrongs? So,
okay, I don't know if there's
not a right
There's not our answer, but like the thing is, when you look at history, including civil rights, but other examples too, the American Revolution, the French Revolution, like at a certain point, it's like French Revolution even, like, oh no, a lot of people died, it got messy and really unethical. Yeah, but sometime after that, it got good,
But like
out.
the French Revolution is a good example of this not working. Because yes, there was the revolution. They accomplished what they needed to, but they just kept going.
Right.
And going and going and going and beheading and cutting and killing. And so I would say the French Revolution, even though eventually I guess it worked out, is an example of rage gone too far.
Okay.
So rage has to be used as a tool, not just let's just let it go until it's run out.
Yeah.
Because at the end of this movie, it's pretty clear that Caesar has still got it in him. He's still angry. But he's gotten to the point where he's reining it back in. This is my home. This is where my people are going to be. I don't need you anymore. Thanks for all you've done.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
And so he's still angry at the end of this movie, but his rage has been used as a tool to get him to where he needs to be, where he can be safe. Where I think a lot of human history is not that. We don't have that kind of restraint. Once we unleash our rage, we allow it to run until it's completely exhausted.
So, something I like about this movie, and another reason why I think it works, is that it is science fiction.
Right.
But it's not like the original Planet of the Apes science fiction. It's not like space travel science fiction. It's not like paradoxes science fiction. Right. It's just the science is hypothetical science, like hypothetically real science. The movie's mostly about human real struggles. Right. Even though that they're apes, or even the James Franco character has real struggles. Oh, my dad has Alzheimer's, and it's like, yeah, that's a real life struggle, and we understand why he's building a medicine to fix that. I think that's another one of the reasons this is so successful. We didn't have to worry about the science fiction. The science fiction we have is...
We didn't have to build a world for it first.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's our world, our problems, our struggles. But with apes on the rise.
Yeah, I agree. My bolded one here is like, what is it about human beings that we seem to have a need for people or things or animals to be under us, to be less than us, to be other, to use the term that I use in Duel and Rowan all the time. So why do we need to feel superior to others? So that's so funny that's Malfoy.
Yeah, I'm surprised
I didn't recognize him.
Catch on.
So
I guess
Malfoy,
we've only seen young Malfoy so far.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So, Malfoy's character is specifically the one I'm interested in. So what is it about us that we have this need? I guess not all of us, but it seems to be a lot of us this need to have people be less than us.
I feel like, okay, a lot of the characters in this movie aren't super deep or well-rounded necessarily.
Right.
And that's not a problem, because sometimes you just need a character to represent something. But you can... Well, he's a little bit interesting, because, you know, like, his dad owns a facility. He has the job because his dad got him the job.
Right.
He doesn't want to be there, you know? He's just kind of pent up, frustrated about having to deal with these apes. So there's kind of like just a level of like, I gotta deal with chimpanzees. That's stupid, as opposed to someone who wants to work at like a
zoo or something.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that. I guess like his character is I am better than you because I'm a human. Like that's who he is.
Right.
As a character.
So, but we can translate that phrase into a ton of, I'm better than you because I'm smarter than you, because I'm whatever than you, stronger than you, whatever. It seems to be, I don't know, it's not universal, but it certainly shows up over and over and over in history, in our lives, and that's an open question for me.
Yeah.
Why can we not just be happy being ourselves in our little spheres? I don't know. Like, what is the circus orangutan's name?
That's Maurice.
Maurice says, "Careful, humans no like smart apes."
And then, man, that's one of the... And that becomes one of, like, the key themes in all the movie, Apes Together Strong or whatever.
Yeah.
But then, before they become smart, Maurice goes, apes stupid. You know? Like...
Right, and that's why he goes and gets the stuff. But
yeah.
I don't know. I guess that's an open question for me about humanity. Why do we seem to need an other?
I guess here's a thought. Take this as you will. I remember Joaquin Phoenix won the Oscar for Best Actor for Joker, I think it was. And in his talk, he talked about how it was wrong to use cows for milk, you know?
Okay.
Sure. And I remember talking to someone about the talk, his acceptance speech. And it's I guess, here's where, as humans, we, hopefully, most people don't want to abuse animals, you know? We don't have a desire to do harm to animals, whatever. But I think there's a difference of, like, you shouldn't drink milk, you're abusing animals, versus, yeah, but that cow, it can never contribute like a human can. And I think there's that idea that gets warped, I suppose. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter, it's not a human.
Yeah.
You know?
Just take it to the extreme.
Like, because, you know, PETA?
Yeah.
PETA does take it to the extreme. So far where it's like, you're just being annoying now. I don't want animals to be abused, but you are doing something on another level that's almost counterproductive to what you're trying to do.
Sure.
Like, I remember they had this campaign saying it wasn't right to use animals in idioms. You know, instead of saying kill two birds with one stone, you should say feed two birds with one scone. This is real. Look it up. Instead of saying beating a dead horse, say this other thing.
Okay.
And, like, it gets to a point where it's ludicrous, right? But what's interesting, though, this movie brings up, and this was part of my lens that I'll dab into, where it gets into how humans can justify experimenting on animals, but the experiment is for a good reason, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're trying to...
Let's go there.
Let's go there.
That's my ethical question,
okay,
too.
let's
So
dive into it.
Go for it.
So I found critical animal studies, which I didn't know existed, but I Googled lenses to use for Planet of the Apes, and it came up, so that's what I did. I guess it could be kind of tied to maybe post-humanism, like...
From last week?
Well, just in general, because literally this movie leads into a literal post-human world. Like, did you watch the credits?
No.
Do you know what happens during the credits?
A bunch of people's names show up.
I mean, okay, with this movie specifically, do you know what the end credits shows?
No.
So you saw a guy, the pilot, with a nosebleed, and that's how he watches on VidAngel or something. So I'm addressing you, listener.
I do watch on VidAngel.
But you skipped credits for some reason. As you missed out, it ends with the pilot getting a nosebleed, right?
Sure.
And he was the neighbor. The guy sneezed on him.
Oh,
okay.
Right. Okay. I thought you were talking about the pilot of the helicopter. I'm like, I'm pretty sure
like,
that dude's...
How the movie
Okay,
and then the credits starts.
Okay.
Maybe you saw, maybe you didn't, but it shows the globe. You see a little red line going and landing in Europe, like an airplane. And then you see a bunch of lines leaving Europe. It's just it's what you missed out apparently is like showing the literal spread of this disease.
Cool.
It is cool. It's actually really, really cool because around when the movie came out, the movie Contagion came out shortly thereafter, and it was like, oh, it's like the credits of Planet of the Apes, but like a whole movie version of it. And now in real life, we had COVID, and it's not as fun anymore. But like the credits, it sets up, I guess, the next movie. Even though I don't know if they knew what the next movie was going to be, is you see. The globe and the spread of a disease.
Yeah.
Which is cool because, before I get to the lens, it's fun to examine how do you get a Planet of the Apes by coincidences, by accidents, by gross negligence, and genius know-how. So how did the apes eventually get to a planet? Well, some things happened that were accidental. Like, for example, a guy sneezing on a person who happens to be a pilot.
Yeah.
But also, Caesar does deliberate things to make it happen. And the company could have done things to prevent... But no, it's just a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of... that's how bad things eventually happen. It's
true.
Coincidence and stuff. But anyway... So the reason it's literally the beginning of a post-human world is at the credits leave you with a sense of dread, like, oh, this disease that apparently kills you is going global. But a critical animal studies, there's clearly human versus ape. So there's different ways humans can see these animals. You have them as to research, like they're as objects, or test subjects. Maurice is a zoo animal, so they could be for entertainment, maybe property or pets.
Yeah.
So there's a degree or maybe a way we see animals. So it's like you are a test subject. That's all you are type of thing.
Right.
With the critical animal lens, you're looking at I guess these hierarchies, and they're collapsing in this movie. Basically, the apes all rise to the level of humans and then maybe even above humans type of thing.
Yeah.
There's this disease that doesn't kill apes, but it kills humans. Now there's a genetic superiority. There's that strength thing I mentioned earlier. They could kill you. Even the bonobo, it doesn't matter if they're smaller, whatever. They have a physical strength that we can never match type of thing. It's kind of like that fun question that was popular last year or whatever. 100 humans versus one gorilla type of thing. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It's it's kind of like the serious version of that question.
Right.
But the apes, they learn to strategize. They learn to... they're sad when the gorilla dies. They're taking on human characteristics to... I guess, elevate their status.
Yeah. So is that necessary, you think?
Well,
for animals to become human in order for us to value them or recognize them, or... I
guess what they're getting human traits.
Right. Because that's what Disney did in spades. They made animals human-like.
They anthropomorphics,
yes.
That's one of the most interesting things in the book Life of Pi, where it says there's the two most dangerous animals. One is a human, but one is the one you make up in your mind. You anthropomorphize them, like,
Yeah.
oh, you have emotions just like I do, or you have thoughts like I do, or
Right.
we're connected because of, like through Disney movies and stuff.
Yeah.
The critical animal studies, you know, pro like animal liberation specifically, anti-capitalism because that's a human thing where it's like your system is destroying us. We are gonna go escape and live in the middle of nowhere type of thing.
Right.
Arguably, speciesism is a thing. I mean, you hate species of animals.
Or just don't care.
Or just don't care, right? Yeah. Because, like, I mean, I guess with the capitalism thing is the reason they fast forward the experiments is because of money.
Right.
Doesn't Jacob say we'll make billions?
Yes.
And it doesn't matter how many apes they have to kill to do it, and because they're apes, they're gonna do it.
Right.
And that's why, yeah, you already kind of brought up, like, it's an easy metaphor for X, Y, or Z.
Any other.
Yeah. In this case, we'll make money, or let's do what we need to do. Let's sweep everything else under the rug because we would have made money at that point. Like, is this movie... It's definitely critical of animal testing. Or, what about, like, the sanctuary? Is that
like a actual thing that exists on the planet?
It must be, because I know it exists for tigers, because I saw Tiger King back when it came out. So there must be
like
places
that
like
whole
that.
part of this movie, I was like, really? That's a thing? So I don't know. I mean, obviously the sanctuary is not providing for the chimpanzees and what they actually need. But
Yeah, I mean, I guess one final thought on the animal lens. It's, you know, some of them, you know, you label an animal. You don't even name an animal. You...
well, it depends on the animal, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think it is really interesting that as soon as you give a name to an animal, that's a de-othering move. Like, you've made that not just a chicken that we can do whatever we want with. That's, you know, Francis
Yeah.
the chicken.
Yeah, we
that's
have names for our
a different
chickens.
chicken than X chicken that we're going to eat. And so it's really interesting because that's the path of de-othering. So that I teach de-othering a lot in all of my classes, really. It's the idea that we treat people poorly because we don't view them as kind of as human as we are. So racism only can happen if X group of people we view as less valuable, less intelligent, less whatever than us, and therefore they're not worthy of being treated at the same level we are. And so anything that we can do to make a group or individual less other decreases our ability to treat them poorly. And so in the case of apes, giving the ape a name de-others them. That's why Malfoy's character I don't think he knows their names at all. He just filthy apes and whatever.
So,
anyhow,
I guess here's a couple of fun buzzwords, like with critical animal system or whatever. Is it saying that this happens to animals because of systematic abuse, or as opposed to individual abuse?
No, I would say definitely systematic.
I think I would too. So, like
systemic racism.
Yeah, that's where
Right.
it bleeds into. Where it's like, is it one person that's bad, or is the system bad? Is the institution bad?
No, it's just the
cultural.
Yeah, I would say it's that sense that we need to have something or someone under us in order to feel valuable. And we, again, de-othering is about fighting that and bringing as many people as we can into our inner circle of these people are humans and I'm going to treat them like I would want them to treat me, kind of thing.
Yeah. Man, okay. To tease the next one a little bit, that's what makes it interesting. It's like, well, you don't want apes to die. We like the apes. You don't want humans to die. You don't, because, you know, like, you don't hate humans either. And it's such a great place to play around with, you know?
Ethically, yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And this one kind of has some of that too, but it's mostly just, hey, what the humans are doing to apes is bad.
Right.
And it's something should change.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It'll be cool to see where they take it.
Yeah.
So ethically,
Okay.
should we be testing on animals is the question. So when I teach my students about ethics, like there are a lot of different ways to look at, to answer the question, is this right or is this wrong? So I just picked a couple of them, and I just kind of wanted to teach some ethics to our audience at the same time as looking at the question. So I have 9 of them. I don't know if we'll get through all of them, but 9 different ways of answering the question, is this right? So, is it right to test on animals? One way to answer that question is there a rule that allows it or disallows it? It's right because there's a rule or a law.
Yeah. There is
and
a
so
law.
there are plenty of laws that allow it. So by
Wait. No, there are also laws that are... It's against the law to abuse animals.
Right, but allow animal testing.
Oh, I see.
Right?
Okay.
And so from a rule-bound perspective, that's the ethical school of thought. Rule-bound, yes, it is ethical to test on animals because there are laws in place that allow it to happen. That's rule-bound ethics. The trickiest one for this question is utilitarian ethics. So we've, I think, talked about it before, but utilitarian ethics is basically whatever does the greatest good for the greatest number of people, that's right. And so if we don't view animals on the same level as us, then is it ethical to test on animals? Absolutely, because animals aren't people.
Right.
And so whatever degree of suffering the animals go through to better our lives, that's okay. Because it benefits the greatest number of people.
You know, because what if Alzheimer's was cured? You know?
Right.
That would have benefited a lot of people.
Yeah. So I'm reminded, and we're going to, in my philosophy class tomorrow, we're going to talk about the movie Old. That is a driving force of Old, but it takes the question of animal testing and shifts it into humans.
Yeah.
Is it ethical to test on humans? So utilitarian ethics is a challenging way to decide what's right and wrong.
Because what Caesar does is the best for the apes.
Right. But utilitarian ethics can be twisted, I'll say it like that, to justify a lot of things. Like, for example, the Holocaust was driven by utilitarian ethics. What is the best for the greatest number of people is the final solution, was their answer. The whole world will be better off if we just eliminate all of the Jews. That's utilitarian ethics. And that shows you how it can be easily manipulated. And it can be used to justify a lot of stuff. So, the next one is loyalist ethics. So, is animal testing ethical? Loyalist ethics says, well, is it going to benefit me and my group and my group's reputation? And so that one is the answer to that is it depends on what group you're in.
Like if you have someone who has autism,
right?
Not autism, Alzheimer's,
or autism, or whatever we might cure. Yeah. I mean, do I want 10 apes to suffer if it's going to cure my mom's cancer? Absolutely.
Have you ever heard of a short story called The One Who Walk Away from Amalas? There's a short story, and it's kind of a famous, like, oh, that was kind of a messed up short story I had to read in English class type of thing. It's mostly describing this utopia and all the stuff that happens in this utopia, but for some reason, what creates this utopia is there is a person suffering in a basement. And to make sure this utopia stays the same, there's a small child chained and locked in a basement suffering to create the utopia outside.
Oh, wow.
So it's called Those Who Walk Away because there are people who can't live with that. And like everyone knows it's there. It's not like a secret. You can go look at this person if you want to, type of thing.
Oh, wow.
But it's like, can you live knowing that the bad stuff is happening to accept the good type of thing? So it's an interesting like ethical dilemma where that
fits in perfect.
If your company that you use is doing unethical things, can you still in this case animal cruelty, but what about like sweatshops that make our smartphones or sew our clothes type of thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, well, what about this? What about that?
Right. And we justify that by saying, well, they're our mental processes, they're other. They're not my family. They're not my friends. I don't know them. I never will see them. And so, Right. And so that's why ethics, I think, is so important for us to learn and to be a part of. So loyalist ethics can be good. It can be a good ethical school as long as it's supplemented with other ethical schools. Because if I'm only focused on what's best for my group, my people, then that's an easy vehicle. Like it's a slippery slope for us to go down. What's best for we'll, I guess, return to World War II. What's best for the German people? Mm-hmm. Well, this, then this, then this, then this, and then we have the Holocaust. So it has to be checked by other things. So my favorite ethical school as a critical thinker is called prudent ethics. Prudent ethics is about the best short and long-term consequences. And so is animal testing ethical from a prudent perspective? I think in the short term, we would say no. There's a lot of suffering going on. There's a lot of pain that these animals are going through with maybe results, maybe not results. And then in the long term, it is possible that something will be cured in the future, but we have to look at, okay, how many of those have happened as a result of animal testing? Not a ton. And so long term, I don't know what we would say. I would have to do more research on it. But what are the short term, long term consequences of it? So,
because the tricky thing is, you don't really want to test on humans in case it goes bad.
Sure. So I guess the question there would be, is the testing itself going to yield short and long term, positive short and long term consequences? And we can't answer that.
Yeah.
And so from a prudent perspective, since we can't answer it, we can only look at the historical. Is there enough examples of success in the past that it's ethical to continue doing this? I don't know. I'm going to skip some. I'm going to just get to my second favorite one, was empathetic ethics. How would I want this person or this situation if I were the one? And so this is the ethics that drives PETA and Greenpeace and a lot of groups that are trying to call attention to human rights abuses, animal abuses, planetary abuses, whatever. And so from an empathetic perspective, we cannot do animal testing.
Yeah.
Because if it was us and they were injecting crap into us and whatever, we would not want that.
Yeah, like there's literally, what's funny is PETA has this billboard somewhere and it says, where do you draw the line? And it was like dogs and cats and like horses, and then it was like like pigs and cows and chickens and stuff. There was a meme that was like, PETA, the line's right there. Those are pets, those ones are food. It's that. So But that's what they're trying to make you think about. And how come these ones are pets and those ones are food? But what's funny was it was perfectly, yeah, I eat the ones on that side and I don't eat the ones on that side. Anyway.
I think I've said this a couple of times, but my philosophical touchstone that I use is, what if the whole world thought this way? I think I've said that before. So what if the whole world acted this way? And so from that perspective, if the whole world was just testing on whatever they wanted to test on, for whatever test they wanted to test, that would kind of suck, I think. And so do I think we should get rid of animal testing? No, not necessarily, but there is that question. And it kind of rests on the idea of the other.
But, like, it's also the fact that they're apes changes things, too.
Right.
Like, mice, I mean, mice feels different because there's so many mice and they breed so fast.
There are billions of people, so,
What's your argument there?
I'm just saying.
All right, we should test
just because
you convinced me.
Just because there's so many of something
Maybe
doesn't
we should.
mean...
You're right. Human testing's fine.
Okay.
Let's just test on humans. There's enough of
Okay. But it's just all driven, all abuse, all negative stuff that human beings do to other living animals, living creatures, other human beings. I think all comes back to that single concept of the other. And so the world changes when we start expanding our inner circle of, yes, these people are people that I need to treat equivalent to me. And if everyone continually expands that circle, eventually it incorporates everyone. Yeah. And there are no more human rights abuses. But the question for this particular movie is, should that circle expand to include animals as well as humans? Mm-hmm. And that question, I don't know that I'm prepared to answer or even offer an opinion on.
I feel like the movie is pretty...
Yeah, the movie says absolutely that circle should include animals. And in fact, there's a quote, it's early on in the movie by whoever the chimp handler is. I don't know what his name is.
For the sanctuary place?
No, for the corporation.
Oh, yeah, I feel
and Jacobs is in here. He's like, I want you to put all of these apes down, like right at the start after Bright Eyes goes nuts and kills whatever she does. And he's like, these are animals with personalities, with attachments. Yeah. And I think that what he's saying and what the movie is saying is that animals and people are not that different. We're not that far off. And so I guess the ultimate statement the movie's making is that we become less human when we treat animals or anything that is lesser than us like property, or like I don't know, like an animal. I don't know.
Okay, you've made me think about something though. Like the history of animal rights. There's a book called Sapiens, which is called like the brief history of humans, and it goes all the way back the first, humans onward and stuff. And I remember reading he was asked what was the most shocking thing about all the research, and his answer was how awful early humans treated animals. Like, like when it comes, like, anyway. But then, like, if I even think, like, fast forward to, like, just the 1800s even, where there was
like vivisection and...
Like, we almost killed all the buffalo, all the bison. And, like, people would just shoot at them from trains because it was kind of a cool thing to do,
Oh,
like,
I didn't know that.
Like, do whatever you want, kill as many things as you want,
right.
Like, I feel like humans didn't care. I mean, I guess I don't know the research. Maybe there were people protesting animals being killed in the 1800s. I don't know. But it definitely seemed to pick up in the 1900s, especially after World War II. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess, does that say anything about humanity? Like, we didn't really care about animal abuse until relatively recently?
Sure.
And I'm making broad strokes because maybe people have cared the whole time, but generally.
Well, I mean, generally we didn't care about slavery until the 1800s. I don't know. Maybe we are improving. Maybe the fact that we're now having conversations about this suggests that we're growing.
Yeah, you'd hope so. Because, like, there's even... there's at one point where it was like your duty to kill any wolf you saw type of thing.
Yeah.
At one point.
Actually, in my life, I remember that.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely, I think, indicative of where we are as a species, how many others there are for us.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I strongly believe that we improve the world by decreasing the number of others that we have personally. And that's not like we have to get to know all the billions of people on the planet, but there are people around us that are other to us still. In our workplaces, in our neighborhoods, and maybe even in our families, that I feel like working to de-other them, like getting to know specifics about people and understanding specifics rather than general stereotypical things, improves the planet.
Yeah. It's, to quote Lord of the Rings, but like, you're part of this world. Like,
right.
The thing exists, and we're part of the world, it's part of the world.
Yeah. Right.
But, like, you're bringing up big questions here, Dietz.
Well, yeah, and that's why I loved this movie, is because this movie brought them up. It's compelling.
Yeah.
It's a well-presented argument.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie. I agree. I'm actually really looking forward to... I don't remember why I didn't watch the second one. Usually, I don't watch the second one because I'm like, this movie was amazing.
Right.
Don't ruin it. And I realized the rest of the planet apparently is like, this movie is amazing, give me more of it.
Give me more of what I like.
And I guess I'm a weirdo. I guess that's okay.
But, I don't know. I think you'll like the next two.
Yeah, I probably will. I don't know.
Okay.
So, anyhow.
I have
last thought.
Two thoughts. One is just a random, no one else on the planet would even think this thought.
Okay.
But it's called the Lucas Tower, the thing that the ape does. Growing up, we used to have this interactive Batman game based on the animated series.
Okay.
And that game was in there with
the Lucas Tower.
The Lucas Tower. So whenever I see one, I don't know that I see them all the time, but to this day, I'm like, that's like in that Batman game I had on PC growing up. It's so long. 25 years, we'll say. Who knows? Okay. That's just a little tidbit for me. I watched a great video essay about this movie, and I kind of just wanted to pass them on to you.
Sure. Thanks.
So this movie, like, Caesar, this movie is like a villain origin story. But he's
Caesar
not
the villain.
a villain. Yeah, because he gets abused and kicked down. He gets trodden on and then rises up at the end. So I hate to invoke it a second time, but it's similar in structure as like the Joker movie is. You only get beaten down so many times before you snap and turn into the Joker.
The rage.
Right, but in this one, it's no. Let's let him lead a revolution. But like how the movie gets there is super well done. So, for example, like, Caesar knows he's not a human being. And he knows...
What is Caesar?
He's not a pet. So what is Caesar is that question that starts it all. He needs to figure out who he is. Like, and James Franco tells him, I'm your dad. Well, that's not true. You're clearly not a human. So, like, where does he fit? And then he's placed in this world of apes. He doesn't really fit there either at first.
Right. So
Caesar is attempting to, or he's trying to figure out where he fits in. So before he gets to the ape place, he sees John Lithgow getting kind of assaulted. You see like the pointer finger, and then that's when he goes points it off. But when Caesar defends his people, he gets treated like a wild animal. So it doesn't matter like what he does. He will always be seen as a wild animal because defending his people is not gonna help him. It's gonna hurt him, you
Right.
know? Which is just an interesting dilemma to find a character in.
Yeah.
And then the whole tracking of the subjugating gesture. He raises his hand and to give permission to go run and climb in these trees. But the movie tracks that gesture in a very interesting way. So, like, for example, when they get to the ape sanctuary, the camera focuses on the hand. It's like, let me lead you. I'm leading you to a good place. So it's repeating that subjugating gesture where he can't trust James Franco. He's leading him to a place that he's going to be trapped in.
Yeah.
And then what's interesting is, well, like, then the subjugating gesture will never work for Caesar at a certain point. The apes need to give him that gesture.
Right.
And so that's what he uses. But when James Franco comes back to take Caesar in, he raises his hand. Now James Franco is the one that needs the gesture from Caesar too. And he refuses it. Yeah. So, like, again, James Franco is kind of this interesting place where he basically murders his dad. But, it's not murder. He's trying to cure him, but the medicine is so far gone that, it comes back with a vengeance, the movie says. And he tries to make it right. He quits his job. Let me go get Caesar. Now I'm in a place where I need Caesar for my benefit. That's not, like, experiments. It's just I need you.
Yeah.
But they're now in different places now that when he holds his hand to take Caesar out, it's the reverse subjugating gesture.
Right.
Which is really cool how that changed throughout the movie.
That is cool.
That running motif, because it's easy to track, yes, but it's complicated emotionally.
It evolves,
how it evolves. Because the reason the movie works, and I think I'm repeating it, is because we like Caesar. We want Caesar to succeed, even if that means fighting off against humans and, like, breaking all the rules to escape type of thing.
Right.
So this movie is really well made. It's really good.
I agree. It is.
What's interesting, though, is I don't know to what extent they knew where the story would take place, but a different director, Matt Reeves, comes in and directs the next two.
Oh, okay.
And it's really good.
Cool.
It makes this
I'm excited
trilogy here.
I'm excited to go down the path.
And I think we should do the ethics for the next one too, and probably all of them, but like track how we see them, because it's just like a playground, at least in the next one. And it's super well shot. Like Matt Reeves, he's got an eye, and anyway, we'll talk Matt Reeves next week. But
my closing thing for this movie, and maybe for this series, I guess, is tracking the other, and kind of using this movie as a way to examine ourselves and how we other people, how we don't other people, and to see if there are some holes or some problems with how we are interacting with other people. Are we treating them in a way that makes them feel less, or are we treating them in a way that may at some point in the future lead to a rage rebellion against their other status for us? So, I don't know. That's my takeaway.
What are your thoughts about Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
Send us an email at desertoftherealpod@gmail.com.
That would be awesome to get some.
Does this deserve to be in the conversation of best trilogies of all time? Manny, what if you hate the next one? That's happened before. I'm like, Beats will like this. Oh, he hated it? Okay. I can't imagine you not liking it, though.
I don't know. Are there massive logical flaws? That's usually the main reason I hate a movie.
You'll find out.
Is it not? Does it fail to be internally consistent? It's my number one reason for hating a movie.
And also,
does it include Keanu Reeves? That's another.
the big two.
Or Samuel L. Jackson.
Logical inconsistencies.
Tom Cruise.
And Keanu Reeves. Did you know Andy Serkis, before this movie, he was the motion capture for King Kong in Peter Jackson's King Kong movie?
I didn't know that.
So he learned to be a gorilla and then
brought it here. That's cool.
But apparently there was one guy, he's one of the apes, he was like, he led gorilla, or like ape boot camp, where it's like, this is how you be a gorilla. Like, we gotta...
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Thank you for listening. We will see you next week for something of the Planet of the Apes.
Dawn of the Planet
Dawn
of the
of the
Apes.
Planet of the Apes.
I'll say this next week, but these two movies needed to swap titles, but...
Dawn and Rise.
Yeah. It literally would be perfect, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
Okay. We'll see you next week.
Think critically.
Please do.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.